Yes, I would say Markwayne Mullin is worse. Maybe a little bit more competent than Kristi Noem, but like just as loyal. So, you know, they're all fucking demonic. They're all gonna do the same awful no matter what. Ladies and gentlemen, live updates. The first big L has taken place in the Trump administration. I'm going to go straight to it. I think we all know. What's up. Ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, and MBs. It brings me great pleasure to tell you that the Department of Homeland Security Secretary, the dog murderer herself, Kristi Noem, has been fired. Smoking on that Kristi Noem pack, ladies and gentlemen, the dog killer herself. Blasting on all of our televisions in every airport, in every mode of travel. Botox Barbie. Kristi Noem is out of the picture in what I suspect is the first of many firings and resignations and numerous other points of controversy that will inevitably follow as the first major role player in the Burger Reich Gestapo Brigade is taken out for one reason or another. But President Trump has fired his embattled Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem on Thursday and announced plans to replace her with Senator Markwayne Mullin of Oklahoma. This comes after Kristi Noem was grilled by Republican lawmakers this week at congressional hearings on a variety of topics, including her knowledge of a lucrative advertising contract. Mr. Trump announced the change on social media along with a new and previously non-existent role for Ms. Noem. Special envoy for the Shield of America is putting her on janitorial duty, which he said would be a new security initiative for the Western Hemisphere. That's right. Some good news to start off the day, ladies and gentlemen. This is some breaking news to start the day off with. That's what we got. Anyway, we'll go right into it. We'll go right into live news coverage from CNN.
And they do understand.
And I'll blast off and we'll keep it going as I eat my breakfast.
To be true to the name of the cabinet and the name of the department, which is Homeland Security. Do you think so?
No, I agree. It's a gigantic department, 22 different components. A senior leader only has so much bandwidth to focus on different things, and they're just going to have to change some of the emphasis from immigration to counterterrorism, anti-terrorism, and I think they have to listen to the careers who are still there. They've pushed many of them out. Others have quit because they disagreed, with the human rights aspects of the immigration policies that are going on. But it's time to get back to first principles.
Markwayne Mullin is a real piece of shit, by the way. Just so you understand, like,
such an important piece of the story is Kristi Noem has been pushed out at
unbearable.
DHS, soon to be operational, and Markwayne Mullin we're expecting to be coming in. Thank you, Dana. Thank you, Kevin, to both of you for the conversation.
Thank you.
We're staying on this breaking news. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Standoff, the FBI, power and paranoia.
God damn it. I thought I could at least get a couple bites and fuck. Markwayne Mullin is also a ginormous dipshit. He once famously challenged Teamster leader Sean O'Brien physically to a fight. Let's take a look at that.
Last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your demeanor today. It's quite different. But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish you was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself, and my wife was running the office, because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act in these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy.
That's crazy. You just
Sir, this is a
slapped
time, this
her
is
with
a
the
place.
meat.
You want to run your mouth? We can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your solution? Every poll.
No, sit down.
Sorry, you're a clown.
Sit down.
Look at
You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it.
That's the guy.
We are coming on the air with more breaking news. President Trump posting on his Truth Social platform that he has fired Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem and that he will nominate Oklahoma Senator Markwayne Mullin to become the next DHS secretary. The president writing, quote, "I am pleased to announce that the highly respected United States Senator from the great state of Oklahoma, Markwayne Mullin, will become the United States Secretary of Homeland Security effective March 31st.
Literally not highly respected.
2026. I want to bring in Chief White House Correspondent Peter Alexander. Peter, when I spoke with the president just a few weeks ago, he still had a lot of confidence in Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, pointing to the border, but something has changed over the last few weeks, and what was it?
Well, it's interesting, Tom, you make that point. So this news, I think you can say, is stunning, but it's not surprising. We know the president has grown increasingly frustrated by Kristi Noem's performance as the Department of Homeland Security secretary, most notably after a series of events that took place over the course of the last several days where she was testifying before Congress. She had been asked a series of questions specifically about the role she played in approving contracts, and notably one, a $220 million ad campaign that was used to encourage immigrants to this country to self-deport. The senator from Louisiana, John Kennedy, said on that issue the president was, in his words, quote, pissed. During the course of the questioning, Noem told Kennedy that the president knew about her decision to approve the ad campaign contracts. You can imagine that did not sit well with the White House, certainly with the president as well. And so that appears to have been the tipping point in this moment.
Funny
there
that
had
only
previously
Trump
been some frustration by the president as it related
Trump's
to Noem for her handling
preordained
of the
allies get to do
operations, the
deals
immigration
like this.
enforcement operations that had taken place in
She
Minnesota.
thought-
So what
basically,
happened?
she thought she could get away with some fucking shady financial deals. And Trump was like, bitch, I'm the only one who gets to do that. And maybe my best friend is not you, dog killer.
Now,
and that's where we're at.
Did not make clear in the course of this post who serves as Secretary of Homeland
on
Security
Women's History
right now.
Month,
Does
chat.
Kristi Noem serve in that post until Markwayne Mullin can be confirmed? The president in his post said that Mullin will become the next Homeland Security Secretary. Obviously, he needs to be confirmed first. He is a popular Republican. It does not appear, with Republicans maintaining a majority in the Senate, that would be a problem, but it doesn't happen with a snap of the finger, as the president indicated on March 31st. So there are a lot of details still here to be ironed out. And Tom, notably, you talked about your conversation with the president airing in part during the Super Bowl and the week leading up to it. I was revisiting part of the comments that the president had to you at that time. You asked him specifically about Kristi Noem and if he had confidence in her, and he really didn't speak about Noem specifically, but about the way he and his administration has handled the border. Your interview may have given us the first sort of sense
Did you hear
of
what
some
John
of the frustrations that we're
Kirchhoff said? He said he
beginning to
wasn't
build.
going on the street.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated.
All right, let's go now to CBS News.
Yeah, this was the...
Why do I love these wide open spaces? They remind me of why our forefathers came here. Not just for its beauty, but for the freedom only America provides. I'm Kristi Noem. From the cowboys who tamed the West, to the titans who built our cities, to the dreamers who chased the impossible, America has always rewarded vision and grit. Our greatness calls people to us for a chance to prosper, to live how they choose, to become part of something special. Anyone who searches for freedom can always find a home here, but that freedom's a precious thing, and we defend it vigorously. You cross the border illegally, we'll find you. Break our laws, we'll punish you. Harm American citizens, there will be consequences. But if you come here the right way, your American dream can be as big as these endless skies. From President Trump and me, welcome home.
What, a cool 200 mil for this? What's the problem?
Executive Director of White House and Politics.
How come she doesn't get to be at the forefront? I thought Trump loved that sort of shit for himself. Does this mean Lewandowski will now have to bang Mullin? Oh, yeah, because Corey Lewandowski was having allegedly an affair with Kristi Noem.
Finn Gomez. Finn, your reaction?
If you're going to talk to Chakrabarty, will you also talk to Connie Chan, who's a better progressive and not a liar who helped unseat an actual leftist in San Francisco? I really like Shoykot, like a lot. And I don't have an issue endorsing him. But that's obviously going to be a major problem for a lot of people, especially in San Francisco politics. Like, I know. But yeah, no, that's my guy.
Well, Lindsay, I have been talking to some of my sources, and one thing, following that exchange that Caitlin Huey Burns spoke about on the Hill, where the DHS Secretary Noem and lawmakers really really test the exchange over the 200 million plus ad campaign. I have confirmed through my sources, by two sources, that there was a very contentious phone call with Corey Lewandowski, the top advisor to Noem. It was with him and with the president following that exchange on the Hill. According to my sources, it was very acrimonious and quite contentious of a conversation. I don't have specifics about what was discussed, but it was specifically related to that exchange with Noem and lawmakers on the Hill during the testimony.
Was it about their rumored romantic relationship or about the ad spending?
Well, it was, my understanding was about the ad spending in that exchange. I don't know all the details within the context of that conversation. There has been rumors and, reports about an alleged...
That's crazy that she just straight up asked that, by the way. That's some fucking tea, dude.
Personal relationship between Lewandowski and Noem. I will say that Lewandowski has been adamant that it's not true. In fact, Noem herself said during multiple questions about that during her testimony that it was she referred to it as like tabloid garbage or something to that extent. So they have denied, at least Lewandowski has denied that straight out. But it's something that has persisted for a couple years, and we have been hearing, and it's been part of the chatter within Washington. I have not confirmed that, and I can just go off what has been reported and and their denials, of course. But we do know there was quite a fiery exchange between the president and Lewandowski. Lewandowski, of course, goes back with the president back to 2015, where he was the co-campaign manager during the 2016 presidential cycle, in that successful bid by the president to win in his presidential campaign in that presidential cycle with Lewandowski and David Bossie at the helm. Lindsay?
Is it your understanding, though, that Lewandowski is still in his position at DHS?
That's a good question. I have reached out to Lewandowski. I have not heard back yet on that. But, however, we do know that they do have at very least a very strong professional relationship. Obviously, he's her.
That's crazy that they fired his side piece and then they're gonna what? Like they're gonna fuck him over too? That's crazy.
Or her top advisor by all accounts, and because of that, they're really tied. So I don't,
bad day for Corey Lewandowski.
It's an assumption here. I can't confirm it.
Dude, what the fuck is wrong with her face?
But the assumption is because of that relationship, that it's unlikely that he would remain if she now goes. So I really doubt that that Senator Mullin would continue to keep him on as well.
Yeah. No, Markwayne Mullin is going to keep him on. So Corey Lewandowski can be the top advisor to Markwayne Mullin, as in top Markwayne Mullin, the way that he was Kristi Noem.
Senator Mullin is really interesting. I know that Caitlin Huey Burns spoke about him, but he's someone from, as been reported, he's a junior senator from Oklahoma. He's a former plumbing company owner. He's also someone who has a very hardline perspective on immigration, a very close ally to the president and to the White House.
By the way,
and
also
interestingly enough, he's a member of the Cherokee Nation, one of the few Native Americans serving in Congress. Lindsay?
For those of us who remember the first Trump administration, this is a bit reminiscent. We have not seen the kind of turnover in the second administration that we saw with the first administration.
Great point.
Really until now, but this is very significant.
No, to that point, like I did cover the first all 4 years of
Bless on me.
the
Maybe I
first
already
Trump,
blasted off, chatter.
administration, and there was a lot of this sort of upheaval that you saw then. A lot, 6 months, and they would change the chief of staff. Reince Priebus
this is the
famously
first crack in the
defenestrated
dam.
by.
This is the first crack in the dam in many respects. In the past, if you remember, Trump won was riddled with controversy. There was a massive revolving door. Day in and day out, there were a lot of competent people, and then there were a lot of incompetent people. But because Donald Trump wanted the competent people to demonstrate loyalty and the incompetent people to also demonstrate loyalty or to do things in a competent manner, there were people that were consistently getting fired and replaced, right? You had the loyal freaks that just could not do the job because they were fucking stupid. And then you had the actual competent people who were managing the situation to the best of their ability. They were evil, make no mistake. They were still Republican, but there was a level of evil that they were willing to entertain without like breaking the entire system. Trump 2 is different. Trump 2 did not have the same controversies, or rather, they did have a lot of controversy, but Trump just kind of bouldered through it because ultimately there was maximum loyalty. The closest we arrived at as far as the girlies fighting was Elon Musk versus Donald Trump. That was actually a huge ordeal. As we all know, Elon Musk ended up being like, Donald Trump is literally a pedophile in the Epstein files, and that's the reason why you will never see what's in them, which, I mean, now we know, right? So obviously there were things like that, but it wasn't that significant. It's like Doge was just simply an appointment. It was supposed to not be for a very long time, right? Whereas this has a different energy to it. This is different. This is like an actual very significant position in the admin, the head of the Department of Homeland Security, who is no longer going to be the head of the DHS. So they hate you but love her even though she killed their dog. Yeah, I know, of course. All those people that are like, you're a dog abuser, know that I don't abuse my dog, but they actually do love a dog abuser. Her name is Kristi Noem.
Tweet by the president.
Well, now they can also say they don't fuck with her either, because now that Trump actually, cut her out, then all the MAGA cult can say, oh, we don't like it either. Is Markwayne worse? Yes. Yes, I would say Markwayne Mullin is worse. Maybe a little bit more competent than Kristi Noem, but like just as loyal. So, they're all fucking demonic. They're all gonna do the same awful no matter what. I think Markwayne Mullin also has a similar style to Kristi Noem, an interest in wearing cowboy hats, and also a pizzazz to him, which is pretty funny. It's just Corey Lewandowski won't be able to fuck him. That's the only difference between him and like Kristi Noem, if we're being super serious. Like if we're making a real comparison, Markwayne Mullin is a more competent person, but he also has the same exact interest in fanfare and fucking, I don't know, running around and presenting himself like this hoorah dipshit.
But this time around, you really haven't seen that much. Of course, we saw that with Waltz, of course, the former NSC, head of the NSC, National Security Council, who's now, of course, representing the United States at the United Nations. He was President Trump's pick for that. But that really, you haven't seen, that was not a cabinet level position. But with Noem, this is the first major move by the president. Really, we had been hearing, I had been speaking to senior White House officials this year that there was there had been this growing sense within the White House that Noem was becoming more of a problem, at least optically and externally, for the president as he tried to implement his hardline immigration policy that he campaigned on, and it was becoming more of a distraction.
What should get canned? They needed to cut something. They needed to trim some dead weight. Because like the admin is deeply unpopular. Trump recognizes that. He doesn't like that. The DHS was also deeply unpopular. And that's like supposed to be his strong. That's supposed to be his like strongest policy. So he has to blame it on something. Then there's the $220 million ad budget scandal that took place, and it's like, oh, you don't get to sit on top of my currently not popular Department of Homeland Security operations and also do fraud on the side. It's fucking bullshit. Why you dressed like a bourgeois now? What, like a bourgeois? I'm literally wearing a fucking Chinese jacket that I got from Army Logic that's like not even, it's inexpensive. Oh, thank you. Thank you, sir. But yeah, it's over. It's over for Kristi Noem. It's awesome.
No, it's been already. We've already reported this, but following the events that occurred in Minneapolis, there was more of a pronounced internal consensus that there had to be a change at the head of DHS, and I think there was a sense that the writing was on the wall. I'd been hearing that in some form for weeks. I know also Nicole Skanga, our great correspondent at DHS, had also been hearing that. So I think it was, I think that the testimony on the Hill.
Yeah, Noem getting fired because Noem getting fired became inevitable as soon as she told Congress that Trump signed off on that absurd $225 million ad campaign for DHS. She forgot the first lesson any Trump crony learns: never make him look bad, even if you have to lie. Literally, they did the congressional hearing, and then one day after, she's out. This is the correct assessment by James Surowiecki. It's true. Like, the whole point of Kristi Noem, she was sitting on top of like a very unpopular. She was the figurehead for a very unpopular policy. She came out and fucking said Renee Good was a terrorist. She came out and said Alex Peretti was a terrorist. Like, obviously there was a lot of backlash for that kind of insanity. Having said that, although there was a lot of backlash for that kind of insanity for understandable reasons, that all would have been fine. It just was boiling up. It was bubbling up. You were on shaky grounds. Trump doesn't like losers. He likes winners, right? So he'll trim the fat if it comes down to it, to create like a pressure valve, because if his base starts not fucking with Kristi Noem, then someone's got to go. If the base is starting to get mad about the DHS operations, like, someone needs to be the fall guy. But the straw that broke the camel's back probably is the ad campaign, I suspect. But it's just like the replacement is not necessarily like moving the DHS in a different trajectory. It's still going to be just as ruthless, if not more ruthless and cruel. ICE is still very much Trump's Gestapo force. Like, none of those things are changing. And Markwayne Mullin is also a real monster regardless. It's just that her time ran out and she fucked over Trump, I guess. Like, she made Trump look bad. But yeah, this is the guy that's now going to be leading the DHS. Manlit Mullin. And yes, he tried to fight Sean O'Brien. Obviously, he's a real fucking psycho. He does like UFC and stuff. Yeah, he does like mixed martial arts.
From this week,
real tough guy, standing tall at 5'4".
Really the final straw, Lindsay, and that's why you saw this big move by the president to try to correct this.
We are coming on the air with breaking news right now. Our exclusive interview with Iran's foreign minister, who joined us from Toronto.
Okay, we'll do the Iran stuff in a second. I still got more in the tank for Markwayne Mullin. Let's take a look at Mullin Plumbing. His pappy's work, by the way, that he took over as a small business owner. Markwayne Mullin is a small business Hitlerite. Many such cases. Oklahoman. I guess as is the case with a lot of quirk, though, white boys. He claims Cherokee, I think.
Hi, I'm Markwayne Mullin with Mullin Plumbing, the Red Ritter. Do you have a stool that just doesn't flush right? A lot of times that's due to the water level in the tank that needs to be adjusted. It needs to be about a ½ inch below the Douglas valve, or to where it's clearly marked says water line. All you need to do is pull the clip, pull it up to increase water.
I mean, he might be actually fully Cherokee. I actually don't know, but like he's a fucking straight up hog. So I don't know if we're gonna claim that. You know what I mean? I don't know if people want to claim that. I feel like the the Native Americans in the audience might not want to. I mean, it's Oklahoma. Everyone is literally everyone's part Native.
Or pull it down to lower the water level. How do you clean your garbage disposal? Well, let me show you. Take you a wooden spoon and a pitcher of ice, pour the ice into the garbage disposal, and then use the spoon to help push the ice into the garbage disposal. Turn the water on slightly, and this will clean your garbage disposal very, very nicely. Hey, if you need help with this or any other plumbing issue, call Mullin Plumbing at The Red Rooter at 918-258-6636. That's 918-258-6636.
It'd be really funny if that's still his phone number. My last name is Sam. I found out from my friends asking me, do I know him? What a terrible day for our family. What a terrible day for the country, really. But yeah, that's where we're at. Sources told Fox it was a combination of multiple factors that led to Kristi Noem being ousted.
We're looking for the testimony that apparently really upset the
I
president.
fucking called it, dude. See? Even before they came out. It's because there was too much heat on the DHS, on the operations, and like Republicans started saying, this is, what are we doing here? You're calling white people terrorists? Like, if you're a Republican and you're like, oh, I want to see like mass immigration detention facilities, like mass deportations happening, you actually don't know what that's going to look like. You don't understand how ugly that's going to look like. That's one problem here. And I kept repeatedly explaining this over and over again, but like, seeing it unfold in your backyard is very different than like fantasizing about a better future for America, a white future for America. Because like when you lose your landscaper, when you lose your neighbor, when you lose the people that you actually kind of like, you're like, what the fuck? I don't really like this at all. And then to add insult to injury in the process of that, when you go out and take to the streets, and then, you know, a bunch of mass thugs of the state come knocking on people's doors and doing these kidnapping operations, and they end up shooting white people in the process. Obviously, that's not going to be a super popular thing, no matter how popular Trump is with his base, no matter how much he can basically hypnotize his fucking base of support. So someone had to be punished for it.
May Allah awaken the people and help them to see the evil doings of Israel and the United States.
We're looking for the testimony that apparently really upset the president, where Noem said, yes, we went through the legal process and did it correctly when asked if the president authorized and approved that $200 million in spending. He did not. He said that he was not aware of this campaign, certainly did not authorize it. And then there were also these rumors of an affair with Corey Lewandowski, special government employee who was serving as...
Yeah, that don't matter much. I mean, we all know they're bumping uglies. I mean, Trump gets fucking what? Trump can get loomered on Trump Force One, and that's not an issue, but Corey Lewandowski can't break off a piece. You know what I mean? Like, if she was a performer across the board, also rumors, if she was a performer and she wasn't so into like fanfare and all this like, you know, optic shit, like holding up a gun, directly pointing the barrel at the head of another like ICE agent, and constantly playing dress up, or if people were happy about the DHS operations, or people were fine with her being like, yeah, everyone that the Department of Homeland Security ends up assassinating happens to be a fucking terrorist, you know? If people were chill with that, I guess, then it wouldn't be, then she'd still be the head of the DHS. It's just a combination of all those factors combined is the reason why someone had to go.
An advisor. He is also married, and reports floating in the last several weeks that Noem had sought to appoint Lewandowski as her chief of staff, but the president blocked that decision amid these rumors of an affair. So the combination of those factors that tipped the president's decision to elevate Markwayne Mullin into this position and get him confirmed. Martha.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
What's interesting is like how this works with the Senate seat. Like, do we just like the fact that Trump did this so haphazardly, so hastily, and took out like already a slim majority that exists in the Senate and make it even more contentious. I guess they have John Fetterman, so like it doesn't really matter, unfortunately. But I mean, he's up for election this year regardless. Okay, but like slim majorities matter quite a bit. especially in moments like this. But I guess you can do whatever you want because the Democrats are controlled opposition, so it doesn't matter.
Jackie, because, you know, the person that you're citing, the source that you're citing, and just tick off for us again the 3 things that they told you went into this decision, because that's not really a soft pedal the way that it was described to you. Can you go through those again one more time?
Minnesota, her handling of the fallout to the deaths in Minnesota of Renee Good and Alex Preddy, the statements that she made in public calling them domestic terrorists before some of the facts had come in, and her handling of that scenario, the ad campaign, the $200 million that featured her on horseback at Mount Rushmore and claiming that the president signed off on it when he had not, and also the allegations of an affair with Corey Lewandowski. This person close to the president described these.
They're getting nasty with it. The fact that the White House is leaking this shit as like primary reasons is that like she got the chop. She got the chop job. Like they cut her. Clearly. Cause like they're being very nasty about it too. Like they're not even keeping up appearances like, oh no, she's better suited for the new position that she got demoted to. They're just straight up like Kristi Noem, she was being a harlot.
These 3 things as